WGN Sports.
Holy cow! Yeah! Score! Yeah!
This Thursday afternoon is the end of the road trip and the decisive game if it's going to be a winning or a losing trip for the Sox, who are 3-3 against Seattle and Los Angeles in the first 6. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti and Steve Stone along with you. Sox are looking for a series win and a road trip win, and that's in large part due to the starting pitching.
Starting pitching the first 5 games was very good. Last night, a little bump in the road, but the first 5 games, everything went perfectly. James Shields threw very well in Seattle. He had a tough time last evening. Lucas Giolito continued the red-hot pitching. He held the Angels down, and then Carlos Rodon, coming back a couple of nights ago, threw the ball exceptionally well, and he won that ball game. So the starting pitching was good. It set up the bullpen, and as you can see with the starters, an ERA under 3, a 3-2 record, things were going very well. Again, the speed bump last night, but Dylan Covey threw so very well last time out, looking for more of the same.
Well, last night it was a Trout-shaped speed bump. First 2 games of this series, he was a walk machine. Last night, the slugging percentage jumped.
It really showed you if you deal with Mike Trout, you're probably going to come in second. If you keep him off base, you're going to be in good shape. And they did keep him off base for the first 2 ball games, but last night he bust out in a big way. A couple of home runs, drove in 4, scored 3. And he was a huge factor as the Angels blew out our Sox. So the first 2 games, as you can tell, nothing doing really, and you win 2. Then last night, you gamble, you go at Trout, and he gets the better of you. So hopefully today they can contain him and contain the middle of that order.
You mentioned briefly Dylan Covey's start in Seattle, the best we've seen from him in a Sox uniform. He tries to keep it rolling today.
He took it into the 9th inning. It looked for a while like he was going to get the first shutout of the year for the ball club and the first shutout for Dylan Covey, but that wasn't to be. Didn't diminish the effort, however, as he went deep in the ball game. Almost finished it off at the very end, needed a little help, but he didn't need any against D. Gordon, who was tough the entire series, but not against Dylan Covey. So we'll take a look at what he did last time. We told you it was brilliant as far as Nick Tropiano. He threw the ball pretty well. He faced a very good Houston team, only gave him 1 earned run, so he's coming out throwing the ball about as well as you can throw it. Should be a good matchup of right-handers here this afternoon.
Sox trying to take this series against the Angels. We have a couple trades to tell you about as well when we come back. From here at the Big A, Sox bullpen looks a little bit different this afternoon. We'll tell you why shortly.
White Sox baseball.
delivering the fastest internet and best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call or visit an Xfinity store today. Day baseball here in Anaheim. Sox are getting ready to try and win the series and make it a winning road trip. Game number 7 on the left coast, and here is the Sox lineup. Written out by Ricky Renteria today. Moncada and Sanchez, then Abreu. Avi is in the 4th spot, then Palka and Garcia, Camaleori. Nicky Delmonico over at first base, where he's played some on his rehab assignment. Anderson and Smith.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Mike Scioscia is going to put them out there this afternoon with Upton, Trout, and Calhoun in the outfield left to right. Then it's Fletcher, Simmons, Kinsler, and Pujols in the infield. Francisco Arcia behind the plate. Nick Trupiano on the mound. Trupiano is not a hard thrower. He's a 4-pitch pitcher. He's got to stay ahead to be successful. There you look at the numbers. Not going to strike out a whole lot of people. Not going to walk a whole lot of people. And we'll take a look at his repertoire. Slider and 4-seam fastball right up there at the top at 29-26%. Then he'll throw a 2-seam fastball, which is a sinker, a split finger, as well as a change. So again, he's not going to be overwhelming. He's got to have to move the ball around. He does try to nip at the corners, and we shall see how it plays out for him today. The umpires for the game today, the crew chief Jerry Davis has the plate. Then it's Ryan Addington at first base, Pat Hoberg at second, and Brian Knight at third. We're ready to play baseball on a beautiful afternoon. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Jason Benetti.
Steve, thank you. As the Sox try to get a victory in day baseball, Yoan Moncada takes ball number 1, and we are underway from the Big A. Tropiano, who spent some time on the DL this year with right shoulder inflammation. This is his second start from his second stint on the DL. He missed 9 games back in May as well. 6 starts, then another trip to the DL as that one scorched to first base. Pujols makes the play, and the Sox bullpen looks different. Joakim Soria traded to Milwaukee before the game for a couple of minor league pitchers. And here's Soria's thoughts on going away.
Well, it's hard for the player that is leaving. I mean, you have to adjust to a new, different city, team, and when you have family, it's hard to move. But I'm used to now. It's the 3rd time that it happened to me, and I'm used to that, and I'm just happy to go to a new team.
Is there also some relief, and now you know you're not wondering what's going to happen? You're not waiting for the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the soonest is the best. I mean, the soon as you know what's going to happen with you and with your family is the best. So we can take ahead and have everything set up.
So Soria will pack up his wife and couple of kids and go to Milwaukee, although the Brewers are on the road at San Francisco. So it'll be a closer trip for Soria, who's likely to get activated tomorrow. Meantime, the Sox get Cody Medeiros in exchange, along with Wilber Perez. Medeiros, a Double-A pitcher this year, a left-handed former first-round pick.
Numbers look good on both of these guys, and it remains to be seen how they're going to play out, but you can't add too much pitching to your organization, and the Sox were able to do just that.
Medeiros is the rare major leaguer, maybe soon to be major leaguer, born in Hawaii. He's a Hilo native. Into the glove, strike 3, and 2 away.
I was able to ride with Soria from Phoenix to Seattle after the All-Star break, and we were talking about just this because, you know, it was no secret. He's been around a long time. He knows that he's got some value. He was throwing the ball a whole lot better. And so he just said it is a business, and the difficult part is with your family. Now, his wife and his children were in Arizona. He left them there pretty much knowing that somewhere along the line in the next few days he was going to be gone. And it turned out, you know, when somebody of his quality gets traded late, you have to figure the team's going to be in contention, and Milwaukee is just that. So for him, it's a break.
And he's dealt with this a bunch of times. I think it's 3 times now he's been dealt around the deadline in his career. He is in rent, don't buy mode in season.
Not much you can do. You try to resurrect your career. He was able to do that. He threw much better as he moved forward into this season than he did at the beginning of the season. And as his stuff got better, he was entrusted with many more leads and worked out very well for the Sox.
2-0. Check swing. No go. 3 balls, no strikes. There's a story today, actually, in Baseball Prospectus about the fact that Soria's slider had some of the top horizontal movement in baseball, which I mean we saw was very good, but that comparison's impressive.
Well, I thought the stuff came around very well. He added a couple miles an hour on that fastball during the course of this season, and it's not surprising that he would be coveted by a few teams.
It's the yearly White Sox bullpen arm to Milwaukee deal.
Yeah. There's a few there already.
Anthony Swarzak, Dan Jennings.
Matt Albers is there also.
Matt Albers.
Another one of the former Soxmen.
Three and two. That's drilled to left field. Upton is back at the warning track. It's gone! Abreu absolutely massacres a ball here in the first. And the Sox lead 1-0.
That's his 15th. He's now driven in 56. Jose gets most of this one. A line drive rocket into the bullpen. Wasn't one of his longer shots, but it got out very quickly. So 1-0. Sox lead on the home run by the suddenly torrid Jose Abreu.
So now you've got 12 times on base his last 5 games plus this at bat. In the movies, you have to use the paddles a bunch. You say clear, try it once, and then try it 4 more times, and it happens. Finally, with Jose, it's 1 clear, and off he goes, up and walking and running.
1 hit, and it was a foul ball. We mentioned it at the time. It was 1 swing and 1 at bat, where after the foul ball, clearly foul but well hit, he muscled the ball into center field for a base hit. That seemed to be the definitive at bat that got him completely turned around to where he is now, which is back to being very dangerous.
Avi Garcia, who's hitting .323 his last 16 games. Yeah, good to see Jose back there. Had a big smile on his face in the clubhouse this morning. You can tell he's in a better place mentally.
And with that 15th home run, he ties Matt Davidson for the team lead. Matt took the lead last night. Jose got it back today.
Jose did ask me why neither of us caught that foul ball yesterday.
Oh, no. Tell him came up with too much steam on it.
Two balls and 2 strikes. The dent is still there.
Yeah, you can actually tell him we thought about it briefly.
Rolled to third. Fletcher across the diamond. We're out number 3, but Abreu bashes a home run. The Sox take the lead, and they hand it over to Dylan Covey after this. lineup, which provided 11 runs yesterday. Calhoun, then Ohtani and Trout, Upton, Pujols, and Simmons top 6. Kinsler back in. Arcia up from the minors, replacing the traded Maldonado, and Fletcher batting 9th.
And the White Sox defense, put out there by Ricky Renteria, is Daniel, Leary, and Avisail left to right, with Yolmer, Tim, Yoan, and Nicky in the infield. Kevin Smith gets a nod behind the plate, and Dylan Covey on the hill looking to follow up. Just a masterful performance against Seattle. 4-5 this year, the ERA just under 5. You look at the rest of the numbers. His control's getting better. He was very aggressive against the Mariners.
See what he does with these two lefties at the top of the card. Calhoun starts it, but that aggressiveness you're talking about led to 15 ground balls for Covey, which was a career high for any of his starts.
He rediscovered that good sinker, the one that he had at the beginning of this year when he got called up from the minor leagues.
There it is, just off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sinker heavy.
He's got a good one, and when he's right, they're hitting the top of the baseball and beating it right into the ground.
To right field. Garcia has no play, and this game is suddenly back even. The hot-hitting Cole Calhoun with a solo shot.
10 and 32 on the power numbers. It's hard to say a guy hitting 193 is hot hitting, but that's been the case. Had a horrible first part of the year. In July, he started to really heat it up, and that helps him a whole lot at the top of this lineup. This is a blast. A no-doubter, and gone. It's a lot more lively during the daytime anyway, but this didn't need any added advantage.
One in. Back to square one. Covey to Ohtani with strike 1.
We've seen Ohtani with big power to all fields.
Well, we know the fans here love him, and it's at least in small part due to the fact that he's never hit a home run on the road. All 9 of his homers have come here.
Well, that's going to change. You would certainly assume.
You'd think so, but it's been a while now.
Now the question for you,
Yeah.
young Mr. Benetti, is if you had the talent that is Shohei Ohtani, do you let him come back and pitch?
Do I let him pitch? Well, he's been cleared to start a throwing program. So it seems as though they're going to let him. He's a great hitter, but he can be transcendent as a pitcher. And I think the answer is whatever he wants to do, you let him do. You?
I would say that with a caveat.
Caveat?
Yep.
There's strike 3. Snuck in on the inside.
That's the caveat. He cannot take any more fastball third strikes.
Interesting.
No, the caveat is that I would let him come back and pitch again, but I wouldn't let him throw the splitter. Good movement on that one, and Ohtani gives up on it. It catches the corner. The reason I say you wouldn't let him throw the splitter is that he throws 100 miles an hour, and it's so much torque on that elbow. He's had elbow problems last year and this year both. I'm thinking you continue 100-mile-an-hour splitter, or the ability to generate 100 miles an hour and then throw a splitter, he's going to head for Tommy John surgery. So I'd let him come back and pitch just without that pitch, and he's got good enough other stuff to be successful.
But he throws it a quarter of the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
you're
does.
taking away 1/4 of his pitches.
Yes, you are.
It's almost like telling Michael Jordan that he can't shoot a fadeaway jumper.
Not exactly, no.
No?
Nah.
That's a big part of his arsenal, at least a quarter of it, right?
But if you felt that the fadeaway jumper would shorten his career,
Yeah.
or
Maybe it
inhibit
did.
his career,
You land on those ankles,
Yeah, well,
you're not square.
yeah, it's not the same. But I would, that's what I would do. What they're going to do, obviously, they have an investment in him, and he's a wonderful talent.
Chopped to short. Anderson's got to hustle. And he does clip Trout. Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on the Kansas City Royals August 18th, 6:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans get a Tim Anderson bobblehead presented by Guaranteed Rate. your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Get started today at rate.com. To buy your tickets, visit whitesox.com. So let me pose to you, if then Ohtani says, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to throw the splitter if you let me pitch, you then don't let him pitch?
Yes.
And you allow for that friction to build?
Yeah.
To right field on a line and down. Upton a base hit. See, my only slight problem with that is you knew what you were getting when you signed him. You knew he threw a splitter. So to then bring him in here and say, oh, that one pitch, we can't have that because it's causing problems for your elbow. You kind of had to have known that beforehand. It's a buyer beware sort of situation.
Well, it's really not, because the elbow problems have come, in my estimation, as a result of that splitter.
Well, sure, but you knew that was a possibility before he got here, right?
Well, I don't think you think about it if a guy's never had any current elbow problems. He's had them twice now in 2 years.
I think you have to think about everything when you're going to pay that much money, right?
Well, I don't think, when you look at the investment, it wasn't like some of the other investments have been in foreign players. It was a little bit less.
Wasn't a candy bar.
No, it was not a candy bar.
Pujols. Oh, that's a huge jump. And they're not going to get anything out of it, as Pujols is out. Upton was running, and the Angels do tie the game on a big fly from Cole Calhoun. They strand one. We'll go to the second inning.
Made for go-getters.
Sox are trying to go get Tropiano with Palka, Garcia, and Delmonico coming up. Tropiano, former Astros draft pick, 5th round 7 years ago. And those two teams made a deal this morning as well. Martin Maldonado, the Angels catcher, traded to the Astros for Patrick Sandoval, the left-handed pitcher out of Mission Viejo, who's an A-ball.
And we were told when we were there that they were looking for a backup catcher with McCann out, and they've got themselves one.
Palka hits it well, left center field. Trout back at the warning track in the wall, and he can't make the play. Palka smashes one to the rocks in left center, and the Sox snatch that lead right back.
It's a very lively day here in Southern California as that ball just kept on going. Mike Trout made a great effort at it, just missed it. But that turns into his 13th home run, his 34th driven in, a towering fly ball to left center field. Gives you an idea how strong Daniel is. He doesn't get most of this ball. And Trout goes back, gives it his best effort, leaps high on the wall, doesn't miss it by much. But the Sox have the lead.
For Daniel Palka, who came in tied for second among rookies with 12 home runs. There's number 13. Garcia grounds out to first. Well, the Sox as a team have struggled with the strikeout this year, but when there's been contact, this lineup has created many projectile diversions, let's say, in ballparks across the country. Nicky Delmonico playing first base today. His minor league career actually started with him as a first baseman and third baseman. But shifted over to third, now playing some first.
Got to expand your horizons. If you're not going to start at one position every day, you have to show versatility, and that's what Nicky is in the process of doing.
Left field was actually the foreign position for him when his pro career started, comparatively. And Ricky Renteria said before the game that Nicky is even better at first base than he was at third when he was coming up. Hometown product, Ricky Renteria, with 30 to 40 friends and family members for most of these games. First base side, Pujols gets off the line to make the play. Spry Albert.
That time Albert ranged far to his right. He didn't really know where Kinsler was. If he did, he wouldn't have gone off that far. It makes it a much more difficult play, but Albert able to make it. He's had some brilliant moments over the course of his career at first base. And in an effort to get Ohtani in the lineup as the DH, Pujols has got to play first.
Four ground ball outs and a strikeout for Tropiano. Tim takes ball one. Tropiano out of West Islip High School in New York. He went to Stony Brook. Into the dugout and a pinball machine from Tim.
Well, let's hope everybody's okay, because that was a rocket. Over the fence in front of the dugout and against the back wall, and it appears everybody's okay. You don't see him hit like that too often.
Yeah, came off the wall, then back to the wall. And there is out number 3. A ball that's still bounding somewhere. Daniel Palka to the crags in left center. Sox up 2-1.
WGNTV.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media because Nationwide is on your side.
Andrelton Simmons, Ian Kinsler, and Francisco Arcia coming up against Dylan Covey, who misses with ball one. Simmons 3 for 12 in the series, but the surprising number is 2 strikeouts because entering this series, he had struck out just 8 times since May the 1st. It's now 10.
He's in a slump.
Big time.
Actually made an error in the field, which you don't see very often, as he's one of the league's best, one of baseball's best defenders. Got a really strong arm and very good range.
3 gold gloves in his trophy case. That one's tapped third base side, and good news, it went foul because that was a base hit of about 20 feet, if not. Hey, Sox fans, watch the Sox take on the Blue Jays Saturday, July 28th, 6:10 p.m. Back to Nightside on Saturdays. Stay for a spectacular postgame fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. Get your tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Good day to wear a hat.
I would think it's a wonderful day to wear a baseball cap, certainly. Or one of those.
Better brim for the sun. Wrap to third, and this one rolls foul.
One more, and Simmons is going to ask for some oxygen.
Well, this is the reason that you sneered at the triples derby. You thought fatigue was going to be an issue.
That's exactly it. Look what happened. 2 sprints. He's out of gas.
We could have an oxygen sponsor for the triples derby. And a monument to the foul ball in the name of Simmons. He's been legging him out.
One more foul ball and he's about done.
First pinch hitter in baseball history for fatigue running to first. One and two. Oh boy. Good thing he's plumb tuckered out.
I think that he ran out of gas. To be honest with you, he had nothing left. By the time he went down to first base, he was probably hoping just hit a fly ball somewhere.
Well, he was peeling off like it was an exit ramp off the highway when the ball was coming in. He was done with this.
Oh, no, I mean, I got to run again. Okay, well, he had it to start with, and then not so much.
3 times in a row for Andrelton Simmons. That's awesome.
That's the problem when you face a guy with a good sinker. You're going to hit the top of the baseball, and when you do that, it's going straight into the ground.
And those foul balls were close enough that he had to dig. Ball one to Kinsler, who's 36 years old now, over from the Tigers. By way of Texas, of course. 1 ball, 1 strike from Dylan Covey. Two and 1 to Kinsler. This Angels team now 140 home runs with Calhoun's in the first. That's top 5 in baseball. Two balls, 2 strikes from Covey. 1 strikeout, no walks so far for the California native. Two and two. Yanked foul left field side. Well hit, but nothing to show for it.
That was normally the official Kinsler swing, attacking a fastball. He loves to do it early in the count, although he's been a little more patient in this series than we've seen him. But normally, first ball fastball you throw him, he's going to jump on.
Sanchez at third for out number 2. The Angels under the management once again of Mike Scioscia, who's been here since the year 2000, nearly 2 decades at the helm of the Angels. Now Los Angeles, formerly Anaheim, and you see most all-time wins with any team. He is 5th, just 2006 behind Connie Mack.
And his contract ends at the end of this year. And so with a relatively new front office, you just wonder about the future of Mike Scioscia and what exactly he wants to do.
There's a foul ball, nearly the first major league hit for Arcia. Well, Don Cooper was sitting in Ricky Renteria's office this morning, and Coop was not dressed out yet for the game. He was wearing his street clothes, a short sleeve shirt and jeans. And I said, you should go out to the ballpark and the dugout wearing that for the game. He said, you know what if we started to wear suit and tie again? So then we started talking about Connie Mack and how he used to do that. Very formal, stately. A little hot for that today, the Connie Mack getup.
You would think that it would be a little warm in the dugout, certainly. And the Angels dugout has been moved around a few different times. This time one of their own. Sees a line drive go that way.
Arcia went trout fishing. Line hard to short. Anderson's right there. And that first hit will have to wait. Dylan Covey has the lead through 2.
$9.99 and a 300th texter is going to win a $30 gift card. Subway, so much sandwich.
So much sandwich to go along with so many nachos in this series.
There's been a few here.
Kevin Smith, Yoan Moncada, Yolmer Sanchez coming up in the 3rd. Sox with 2 home runs. Jose Abreu, Daniel Palka. Kevin Smith right now on call. He and his wife Jessica expecting their first child in the next week or so. It's going to be a boy, and Scott Merkin has a wonderful story on MLB.com about Kevin Smith and the naming of his child. The name is going to be Wyatt Daniel because he's decided to name his son, he and his wife Jessica, after Daniel Webb, who was killed in the ATV accident, the former Sox pitcher, back in October. And a beautiful tribute. Kevin Smith and wife Jessica, who stayed down in Tennessee for about a month after Daniel's passing, as there is out number 1. But they were very close. And Adam Engel with an Instagram about Kevin Smith, the future papa. Evidently they were hungry, by the way.
I guess. Nice size plate, by the way.
Did they just order everything? They said, bring us everything.
Left side of the menu, it looks like.
Yikes. You ever done that at a restaurant? Bring me one of each?
No. But I had a dear friend of mine who said he only had 2 goals in life. One was to never have to get up by an alarm clock, and the other was the ability to go to a Chinese restaurant and say egg rolls and keep them coming. That was his 2 goals in life. He was able to accomplish both.
Way to aim high, by the way.
Yeah, well.
So it was, I think it was 3-4 years ago, I did a Little League regional with former Sox catcher Spanky LaValliere. There's strike 3. 2 down. Spanky's a big guy.
Yeah.
So we go to this barbecue place after one of the games. We're down in Warner Robins, Georgia. And I'm looking at the menu. Spanky's not looking at the menu at all. I was like, I wonder what's going on here. And the waitress comes over and he says, chef's choice, please. And she says, what are you talking about? We don't have that on the menu. It was like a comedy bit. He goes, just tell the chef to be creative, and whatever he'd like to send out, go ahead. And after the waitress left, he said, yeah, I like to do that at restaurants. I like to let the chef have some fun, and then whatever he picks, I'm sure is one of the best things in the restaurant. Chef's choice. I kind of like it.
Well,
let the right-brained culinary expert make a choice for you.
Next time, you can try that.
I have.
Well, try it again.
Thank you for clearance. You wouldn't. I don't think you'd be expressive enough with your food tastes.
Nope.
There'd be something on it you don't like, I feel like.
Unless it was Hamburgers R Us. Just make them plain and I'll eat them wherever.
Why don't you just open one of those, a Hamburgers R Us?
I think it's been done.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Sanchez. 2 out, nobody on.
Tropiano's given up a couple of home runs. That's been it. Other than that, he's had the boys pounding the ball into the dirt. So he's got a splitter. That's part of his arsenal, as well as a sinker that both usually yield ground balls.
You want to take his splitter away too?
No.
You're going to leave his?
He can keep his, yes. Velocity-wise.
But it's just the signal of elbow trouble from Ohtani that you're saying is the reason to take it
100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
He throws, for me, hard enough where you can do some damage to it.
Yolmer takes another walk, his 3rd in the last 2 games. And Abreu bats with a runner on. Jose on a 3-2 pitch in the 1st inning. Hit a solo home run to give the Sox the lead at that moment. Lead went away briefly and then showed up again with Daniel Palka to lead off the 2nd. Third base, Fletcher the short way, and Kinsler the catch. Bottom 3 coming next. Sox lead by a run. last night. Dylan Cease lost his perfect game in the 7th on that ball. However, he did strike out 12 of his former mates. The AA Cubs were in attendance. And a very quiet night on the visitors' side. Dylan Cease outstanding. 12 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit.
Just an interesting guy. We had a chance to spend some time with him on the phone. He talked about this performance and what he's felt like going from A ball to AA. He doesn't seem to be affected at all by the rise in categories. If anything, he's throwing better.
Some guys just do that. They rise to the level.
We get really good stuff.
Heard before, as this ball is just short of us, pitchers talking about, in A ball especially, pitchers who are very thoughtful, analytical. They'll say that batters in A ball are a little too erratic for them. They'll swing at just about anything, so sometimes when you make a good pitch, you're going to get hit on it because they're just guessing up there.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I experienced that facing a college team, ASU, when I was a professional pitcher.
Really?
I was trying to set them up with various things, and it didn't really matter. They didn't take anything. They just hit everything in sight. 10 runs the first inning.
Is that in spring training?
Yes.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I was very happy that, you might remember Maury Wills, his son Bump Wills played for ASU, and I was very happy that he was leading off for them because I got him out twice. Without getting him out, I might still be there pitching to the ASU team because they killed me.
Center field Garcia for out number 1. When was this?
This was back in the mid-70s, and it was the year, I believe, that was strike shortened in spring training, so I was trying to get ready in a hurry, and this was one of the games that came up, and so they asked me to throw that, and it was a disaster. I mean, the whole thing, you throw an 0-2 fastball under a guy's chin, then you throw that slider away, and he's out there and whacking it to right center field off the wall. You wonder, how can you look for that? I mean, come on.
You don't know any better.
You don't. That's exactly right. It was horrible.
Facing 9 windshield wipers.
Yeah, so other than that, I mean, finally I got out of there. But not so as you'd notice, getting bump out twice.
Must have been huge for the confidence that season. Sun Devils beat the snot out of you.
I was just happy they weren't on the schedule.
Rare Pac-12 road trip in mid-May. Cole Calhoun, who pulled his home run in the first, likely to pull the ball. That's why the shift is on. Yolmer is so likable over at third. It's almost melancholy to see him alone so much.
Yeah, what is amazing, though, is we talk about it a lot when there's one infielder on one side of the infield. How many times that ball hit to that side is hit right to them?
More than it should happen.
Seemed like it.
Solo Yolmer. Downstairs, 3 balls and a strike on Calhoun. He went undrafted 4 straight years.
Well, for the most part, Buckeye, Arizona, which is just down the road from where our spring training facility is not a hotbed of prospective major league talents.
Hammered to right field. Off the wall. That ball was crushed.
Fortunately, it was a sinking line drive. Other than that, it would have been 2 home runs and 2 at-bats. Calhoun has certainly come alive here this afternoon. 2 for 2, double and a home run, and this one just missed.
Now Ohtani. He just unloads. 9 homers and 4 wins. Last time that happened was 1931, and then Babe Ruth did it back-to-back years in 18 and 19. And your old teammate Jimmy Ryan back in 1888.
Boy, he was quite a guy too, Jimmy. Yep.
There is a picture in the manager's office here in Anaheim of Babe Ruth and Ted Williams. It's a color picture. And I walked into the manager's office a couple hours before the game just to throw one question at Ricky Renteria. Not one thing, but just one question. And he said, hang on, I'm watching Babe Ruth video. The picture on the wall made the Sox manager go to YouTube, just type in Babe Ruth. He was watching his swing and watching the way his head moved when he swung.
Pretty good swing.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good swing indeed.
Huge hands.
Well, he swung at times by acclamation upwards of a 50-ounce bat. You would have to have very strong hands just to swing that.
I mean, that is, you hear about that, and that is just remarkable.
Pretty amazing.
In spirit, Ohtani trying to be that type of player.
This is the one thing that we've seen with Dylan Covey that gets him in trouble. And that is when he gets runners on, he slows it down almost to a snail's pace. He didn't do it at all last time out. He had magnificent rhythm and kept his rhythm consistently with the Seattle Ball Club. But he slowed it down to Calhoun, and now he's slowed it down to Ohtani, and he's having trouble throwing strikes.
Trout next, 3-1 to Ohtani. Second base, Moncada's in front of it. And out number 2, Calhoun to third.
Fortunately, that one hit right at Yoan because that was a one-hop rocket.
Yeah, this is different contact than the other day in Seattle. The lead is still there at 2-1 with Trout coming up. And now look, runner at third, 2 out. Yeah, they're going to walk him. There's a very good argument to do that, especially with 2 out in an inning.
I don't see any reason not to. He's the one guy consistently that will do you a tremendous amount of damage. And now he can steal a base. That's the amount of damage that he can do.
The only danger is the big inning.
Yep. '19th intentional walk for Mike Trout. Nobody else is even in the neighborhood.
Mike Trout, 6+ walks, 2+ homers, 3+ stolen bases in a series since 1920. Only he and Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig have done it. That's this series for Mike Trout. With one more stolen base, he will join Darryl Strawberry, Trout will, as the only 2 players with 5 years of 25 homers and 20 stolen bases before they turn to their 26th season, their age 26 season. That's a base hit. It ties the game. Trout to second. Calhoun across.
57 driven in for Upton. He's 2 for 2.
Even without stealing a base, and he doesn't get full credit for the hit certainly, but Trout drew the attention of Dylan Covey enough. To split the focus.
Well, he has to do that. I mean, you have to be aware of what he's going to do and hold him close, but your main concern in that situation is the hitter.
Albert Pujols, 2 on, 2 out, and that breaks in for a strike. .359 hits for Albert Pujols. Hard hit to third. Sanchez spears it, and that does it. So the Angels do get a run, but that's all. And once again, we're level.
To serve. And there it is. With Toronto coming to town, we're back home from this road trip. And the Blue Jays provide the opposition tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon for the finale of the Blue Jays series.
Won't be Jay Happ we're seeing.
No, it won't.
He is on the move in the division.
He's got to be a fairly happy man.
The Yankees are buying everyone.
They're coming close to it.
Zach Britton this week, Jay Happ this week. Avi leads off the fourth. If you're just joining us, by the way, you didn't hear, Joakim Soria has been dealt to the Brewers for left-handed pitcher Cody Medeiros as the headliner in the trade. Wilber Perez also involved, a young pitcher from the Brewers system. He's out number 1.
Fletcher knew he had to hurry that throw because Avi was hustling down the line, and you have to know the speed of every base runner so you know how much time you have on choppers like that one.
Daniel Palka coming up. That's 2 ground balls to third for Avi, and still 0 fly ball outs for Tropiano.
He's shown himself to have a very good sinker and a good splitter to go with it.
Two and 0 on Palka, who hit his 13th home run of the year in the second inning. Now 3 and 0 on Daniel. He swings at 3 balls and no strikes and catapults it to first for Albert Pujols in foul territory. For out number 2. Time now for Sox Math, brought to you by the fine folks at Audi. Number of career at-bats Rick Renteria had against the Angels, plus the number of career at-bats Mike Scioscia had against the White Sox. It's your Audi Sox Math. Brought to you by your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional deals. Hashtag SoxMath. First correct answer wins a road prize. Two out for Garcia. And there's a strike. Do you have the answer?
I had to recuse myself.
Should I just stop asking? You always recuse yourself.
No, not always, but there's
just every
times,
game.
there are certain times when I have to do it.
Off the plate outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
This being the finale of a road trip, for instance, this is normally the time that you recuse yourself.
You know how legally people say, oh, don't forget to read the fine print. Your mantra seems to be, don't forget to write the fine print.
Well, that could be also. But what fun would it be if I gave the right answer?
It'd be great fun. It'd be the first time that it's ever happened. 1 and 2. Swung through. Third strikeout for Tropiano. We go bottom 4. Deadlocked.
Sponsored by UI Health, providing expert care for you and your family. UI Health, changing medicine for good. Learn more at uihealth.care.
Breaking news that's not truly news, because in order for something to be newsworthy, it has to be different than the norm. But Eloy Jimenez has homered again.
It took him this long in the day to hit a home run?
It's a little later over on the East Coast.
True, but still just 8 minutes after 5.
3 in the last 5 games for Jimenez, and that's right off the DL.
That's pretty good.
Andrelton Simmons. talented defender, takes ball 2. Having a career year offensively as well for the Angels. And here's a guy who has not exactly become a launch angle increase revolution guy. He's well under the major league average. His average launch angle is 9 degrees. So he's really been a ground ball hitter to very nice success this year.
Well, look, he's got very good speed. And when you have that kind of speed and you're not enormously strong, hitting fly balls doesn't really help you very much. You want to keep the ball on the ground, especially here in this particular stadium. The infield dirt is very hard. They don't get a lot of rain here, and so the ball scoots through. You're better off hitting ground balls. Not like that, however.
Moncada for out number 1. Eric Hinsky had some power.
Yes, he did.
Fly balls were good for him.
They were. Any reason that just popped up, or is that kind of...
There he is.
There he is now?
Yeah.
Our Eric Hinsky?
In the flesh, yours.
That's the problem with daytime television.
Cliched plot lines?
No, I can't really see so much Eric Hinsky there in these particular monitors.
Susan Lucci never wins. Kinsler, left field. And gone. Angels take their first lead.
13 home runs for Ian Kinsler. He's now driven in 29. All you got to do is hit it in the air today with anything on it. It goes out of the park. The wind, not much of a factor, but on a very warm day, it's very lively. And this is a rolling breaking ball that Kinsler gets most of. Daniel thought he had a shot at it. Gets as far back as he can get, but comes up a touch short.
Second homer for the Angels. Third extra base hit. And the first guy not named Upton or Calhoun with a hit. Well, we mentioned Maldonado was traded. He was in his final year of his contract, so they decided to move him to the Astros for a left-handed pitcher from A-ball. And Arcia looking for his first career base in the majors.
He actually swung the bat very well last time, almost getting a base hit before he lined out to Tim Anderson at shortstop. So he swung it well and hit the ball hard twice. Once foul and once out.
Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to the major league newcomer. And here is your Sox math answer for this afternoon. QJ Mack is your winner because neither of them faced the team that they're opposing today. And that's your Sox math answer. Now, Herm Schneider and Ricky Renteria are going out to take a look at Dylan Covey, who just missed with 4 straight.
Well, he has had some groin issues, occasional back issues, and apparently he is okay.
Had the hip thing a couple of starts ago.
He did.
This would not be the day to go down a starting pitcher early in the game. The Sox are down a man in the bullpen. Soria was traded, but so soon before the game on the West Coast that there was no time to get another player here. So the Sox are actually playing with 24 today. Arcia at first, and Fletcher takes up and in. Dylan Covey was surgical sharp in that last start.
Yeah, that was as good as he can get. That's as good as a lot of people can get. He was just dominating from the first pitch.
3-2 Angels off the home run by Kinsler. Runner goes to shortstop Anderson. Tagged down by Nicky Delmonico. Arcia to second base as they stay out of the double play. So Calhoun, who smoked 2 baseballs already today. Home run in the first, double in the third. Both to right field. In the dirt, Arcia to third.
Nice attempt at the block by Kevin Smith, but that ball rattled off his chest protector, moved off to his right, and no chance at all to think about getting Arcia. And it does go as a wild pitch.
Calhoun has hit just about everything that Covey has. It was a home run on the fastball on the sinker, and then the double came off the slider. Now the count 2-0. It's not as though you can say, well, he's hurt me today, so now I'm not going to pitch to him, because next up is Ohtani, then Trout.
Yeah, there's not too many breaks in this lineup.
Fouled off left side, 2-1. Arcia at third. There's a swing and a miss by Calhoun. Couple of balls, couple of strikes. Water vendor gonna get some tips today.
Not a bad idea. It was 88 degrees at game time. A lot of folks have moved to the shade that came to the ballpark.
Calhoun strikes out up in the zone, but the Angels do take the lead on their second homer of the game. It's 3-2. that your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your home team throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com. Fine folks at Guaranteed Rate. And we'll be back tomorrow at Guaranteed Rate Field for the first of 6 at home. Toronto and Kansas City, the opposition.
The Kansas Cities are back again. We just saw them.
A lot of Royals this month. A lot of Tigers next month. Will live at Comerica Park.
Pretty close to it.
You're going to bring your air mattress and just sleep in the booth?
That's a comfortable booth there, maybe.
Now, 3 balls, no strikes on Nicky after the Angels took the lead. Be a nice start to the inning to get ball 4, which indeed is given out. So Nicky with a leadoff walk here in the 5th. It's not exactly going to make Mike Scioscia happy.
No, especially 4 straight, and you just as soon stay out of the bullpen if you're Mike Scioscia with his boys.
.53 pitches for Tropiano.
Not a high total to this point.
Not at all, as Anderson takes a ball. Tim, in zone, has had more contact this year. He's swinging more at pitches in the zone, which suggests that his plate discipline is improving. But also, in Major League Baseball, if you're going to let pitches in the zone go by, you're missing opportunities. Simmons to second, the turn. On target, nice quick double play by the Angels middle infield.
Well, Kinsler for years had done that. His range these days isn't quite what it used to be, but he's really good at turning double plays. This one is turned very quickly. Chopping ball, and they get it there just about a half step ahead of time. So it's a very snappy 6-4-3. And if you can throw a lot of ground balls, you can get away with the occasional walk, because 1 pitch gets you 2 if you're throwing ground balls.
That'll make your short day into a little bit longer of one. Oh, and 2 on Smith. Kevin bounced out to short his first time up. That was back in the 3rd. Oh, and 2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Tropiano is through 5. Halfway home, Sox are down a run. you for making us a part of your day wherever you might be. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti, and our entire wonderful crew on WGN Sports out here in Anaheim. Leftover food, always the purview of Steve Stone. You're looking up at the roof. I don't know why.
One of your Beatle friends was making a visit to the booth. I'm not talking about.
Was it Bailey?
Of the McCartney era. Gigantic golden Beetles that you like so much.
I was in the booth looking at my computer before the game yesterday, hand leaning on one of the ledges over here, and I kind of felt like there was a bug on my hand. And yep, it's true, a large flying pest. I should know.
It was a lovely looking beetle, as I recall.
Yeah, beautiful shimmering emerald color. Two and one on Shohei Ohtani.
Well, Dylan went into the sleeper and Ohtani had had enough, so he asked out.
Inside, 3 balls and a strike.
That went off the foot of Jerry Davis. So Ohtani didn't like it because he had to skip the rope, but Davis could not get out of the way and it got him. Misses Ohtani, but gets Jerry Davis on a fly on the right toe.
That right foot flinched as though he knew it was coming and couldn't get out of the way. Second base, Moncada. For out number 1. Join us for the second half of the season with the All-Star Mini Plan. Pick any 3 games, excluding the Cubs series, and receive $10 in added value per game to spend throughout the park. Plans start as low as $79. You can get your tickets at whitesox.com/all-star-plan today. Great second half schedule. The Yankees are in town. The Red Sox are in town. You can get a close-up look at Shohei Ohtani as well. The Angels will be in.
And Cleveland is going to be in town again. We have some nice ball games coming up.
That next homestand after the Royals and Blue Jays are in town, the next one after we go to Tampa with the Yankees and Indians coming to visit, will be a fun one. Right field, Avi makes the catch. Trout is 0 for 2. All right, if you had to pick right now who's winning the American League, season ends right now.
Yeah.
Who are you taking in the postseason to go to the World Series?
To me, it's a choice of 2 teams. You either take Houston, you take Boston.
No other choices.
Well, I mean, there are other choices, obviously, but those are the 2 that I've narrowed them down to because you didn't alert me to the fact that you were going to ask this. So, now that you've alerted me, I will say Boston. And I think because their pitching might be, in a short series, maybe a touch more effective.
Than Houston. Why do you say that?
I don't know, I just did.
But I was taking that for granted, yeah.
Yeah, I think that let's assume both teams are not playing for it the last week of the season.
Right.
Because if they are, then it takes whoever you might have and makes it a little bit different.
Yes.
But let's assume that they can both rest, and you find in the first game you're going to find, what, Verlander and Sale?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I think Chris Sale has a bit of an advantage in that one.
You do?
Yeah.
Even with the way Verlander's pitched since he's come to Houston?
Yep.
Okay.
I do. Of course, I do believe also that it depends on how much they can protect those guys going down the stretch. And if they're in command, they will protect them and make sure they're not getting quite as many innings as you would get.
Yeah, can you set your rotation or not?
Right. And that's a big advantage.
Now, Oakland has won 5 in a row. The A's, entering play today, are a game and a half back of the Mariners for second place and that second place wild card.
And that becomes true. All general managers will tell you that The most difficult game, the most nerve-wracking game, is the one-and-done game, because you can have just a great year and run into a very hot pitcher, and you're going to be gone after playing 8.5 or 9 innings, depending on where you're playing it. So that's why the added incentive of winning the division, and Boston leads by 5.5 coming into today, Cleveland by 7.5, and Houston by 5. So Houston has extended that lead against Seattle. And Oakland has been red hot.
Yeah, Texas has gotten a face full of Oakland. Late innings the last couple of days. 10-2 lead wasn't enough a couple of nights ago for the Rangers. And yesterday, Chris Davis with 2 strikes and 2 outs. The game winner, top 9 on a home run. That's a base hit to right. Upton's 3 for 3. Well, he was 1 for 12 the first 3 games of this series, and now Upton pounding the baseball today. To left field on a line and down. Throw into third is not in time. Pujols a hit. Upton to third. Palka looked like he had a shot at it and never squared it up.
That was a sinking line drive, but probably with one step on the jump it would have been caught. It was not. This ball falls in front of Daniel in left field. Palka kind of frozen in his tracks, didn't come get it. Albert didn't know if it was going to fall or not. It turns out it did, and then the throw was a bit off target at third base.
So for Pujols, that's hit number 5 in this series, and that gets him into a tie with Craig Biggio for 24th all time in Major League history. That's a bunt punched at and a strike for Simmons.
Good idea, because he took a look at Yolmer back at third and figured if he could just put it on the grass it would be a base hit. He was right about that, but just the execution wasn't there.
Line to left and foul.
The Sox don't do it very much. I mean, they've done it a bit more recently, but going behind a base runner is a good thing in a situation where you want to get an out without making a pitch. Albert Pujols getting a very good secondary lead at first base. And if you call just an outside fastball here, you can be able to pick him off first base easily, but I don't think that Kevin Smith or Dillon are thinking about that.
Yeah, the attention on Simmons, it seems, from Kobe right now, with 2 on, 2 out, 7 hits allowed, just 3 runs on the board.
One of the reasons you'll be thinking about Albert, especially because he doesn't run very well, so he's thinking about getting as big a secondary lead as possible. He's not thinking about the throw going that way after the pitch is by Simmons.
That scores a run. And it gets by Garcia all the way to the wall. Pujols will score. Simmons into third. The throw is way offline. Simmons comes home, and it's a Little League home run for the Angels.
I'm not sure exactly where Dylan Covey was lining up. It seemed like he was between third and home for whatever reason. This throw was not going to go to third base. Albert wasn't running until the ball got by Leury Garcia in center field. And Albert, such as it was kind of off to the races. Tim Anderson's going to get an error on this one. Simmons going to drive home one run. That's going to be his 45th. And then things fall apart a touch.
I think I heard the announcement was 2 RBIs, which can't be. They called it a triple. Wow. That's through the right side.
Xavier Cedeno loosening up in the bullpen.
Again, the Sox are down 1 man in the bullpen, with Soria traded to the Brewers. And Ricky Renteria is going to take the ball from Covey. The Angels expand the lead here in the 5th inning and knock Covey out of the ball game. 6-2 when we come back.
Cedeno. So with 2 outs, nobody on in this inning, 4 straight hits, taking Dylan Covey off the hill. Xavier Cedeno on for the 18th time. He doesn't have a record. He does have a 1.35 ERA. He has been very good. And he inherits Kinsler at first base. It's a 4-run deficit. Trying to hold him right there and give a look to the offense to come back and score some runs.
Lefty with Arcia, and a throw to first on Ian Kinsler. So Dylan Covey, line still open. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 home runs. Runs so far are 6.
If you missed it, 1 reliever gone. Joakim Soria going to Milwaukee, and you would think there'd be a few other folks still scouting the Sox bullpen, especially from the left side.
Cedeno, who has a major league track record, has been very good out of this bullpen. Luis Avilan has been more of a matchup guy recently, but has nice 2018 numbers.
He had a good year in 2017 for the Dodgers, so more of the same here this year. All the left-handers thrown pretty well. Jace Fry, the other left-hander, has done a good job.
Two strikes on Arcia. The 36-year-old legs of Ian Kinsler over at first drawing attention.
I wouldn't think he's going to be going, not wanting, if you do throw him out, to lead off with Arcia instead of Fletcher. Rather lead off with him if I had a choice. One curveball will end this at bat.
Strike three. As you forecast, 3 punch outs for Sox pitching, but the Angels strike for a big number.
Chicago fans.
And one true White Sox fan has tweeted in Casey Boguslaw. He's successfully appealed Sox math today, so he will win a prize as well. Congratulations. And you never fight with anybody named Boguslaw, because they will find a way to rule against you.
So that's it.
Yep.
You're knuckling under, caving in.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Okay.
When his name's Boguslaw, you can't argue. Strike one to Moncada, and now 0-2 on Yoan. Sox with a home run in the first and a home run in the second inning. This was a 3-2 game until a 3-run outburst for the Angels last inning. Blooped left-hand side, and in foul territory, it's off Fletcher's glove.
That's going to go as no play. That's one he probably should have had. It was a good effort, and it just hit off the middle of the glove and bounded away.
Strike three. With the ball in the dirt, Arcia completes the out, and the 5th strikeout for Angels pitching. Sox fans watch the Sox take on the Indians Friday, August 10th. Stay for the post-game fireworks. They're presented by Athletico Physical Therapy. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. One down for Sanchez. Yolmer, right center, but playable to Trout.
Got to hit to somebody else because Trout's not going to make too many mistakes in center field. Time now for StatCast AI, powered by AWS. 108.2 miles per hour exit velocity. It was a line drive, so almost no launch angle, 20 degrees. And Jose gets his 15th home run in the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on.
He takes ball number 1. Last Sox hit, by the way, was the Palka home run in the 2nd inning. Two balls and no strikes on Jose. In the air and foul. Sox came in having lost 14 of 15 in this building, then won the first 2 games. Took the loss yesterday, 11-3. As that's no swing, 3-1. One dropped out of the zone, 3-2. Tropiano, a very nice game so far, dropping his ERA to 4.45. That's strike 3, and a Jose knew it. Bottom 6 next. The Angels over the Sox, bottom of the 6th. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. And the mountainous regions of Angel Stadium, renovated about 20 years ago now.
Yeah, the Rocks have held up rather well.
First one, a strike to the 9-hitter Fletcher, who's 0 for 2. Steve, you mentioned that Joakim Soria was dealt to the Brewers. It's for left-handed starter Cody Medeiros in large part. He's the headliner of the deal. In addition, Wilber Perez comes over, but Medeiros, Double-A pitcher now. He was a first-round draft pick of the Brewers out of the state of Hawaii. And evidently Michael Kopech saw him pitch a bunch of years ago on the youth circuit, because Sox social media folks dug this up from a bunch of years ago. 2013, August 12th, shout out to Cody Medeiros for dealing on the mound yesterday. One of the best pitchers I've ever seen, said Michael Kopech.
Well, hopefully he has advanced since that time.
Michael normally is more prone to hyperbole with his arm than his mouth, so that's a good sign.
Yep. Young man probably had a whale of a ball game. That goes to show you that things do live on forever on social media.
I don't think we need any reminders of that. 1 on, nobody out for Calhoun. Calhoun 2 for 3, couple of runs scored, 2 extra base hits. Cedeno the opposition, and strike 1.
And off the bat, Cole Calhoun in the first inning, our 4th drive of the game. It was a bomb. Start things off well for the Angels, and they have played very well here today. Visit your local Ford store, buyfordnow.com. Our 4th drive of the game.
Throw to first. I don't think they're going to get him. There's a hot air balloon to first from Cedeno.
Wanted him to know he's thinking about him.
7-man bullpen today for the Sox, with Soria gone. Calhoun is not as dangerous against left-handed pitchers.
Nope, not near as dangerous.
Oh-2 is in the dirt. Fletcher takes off, and he's going to get to second base.
Heads up piece of base running. As soon as that ball was in the dirt, Fletcher just took off and didn't hesitate at all. It was like he anticipated that breaking ball in the dirt, knowing the lefty-lefty situation. As soon as it got away, he was gone, and no chance at all for Kevin Smith.
Asked Ricky Renteria before the game, what do you think of Fletcher? And he said, little Eckstein. And I said, you know, he patterned his game after Eckstein. He said, no, I had no idea. He just visually thought David Eckstein when he saw him. 1 gone here in the 6th.
Ends this on a breaking ball, just like the end of last inning on that same breaking ball. That one was Arcia, and this one was Calhoun.
They don't strike out much, these Angels. In the American League, they are 5th toughest to punch out, not far behind first place Cleveland, Boston, Houston. But there's something notable about that list.
Is there, I was going to say, is there a recurring theme there for the first 4? You don't strike out a lot, you find yourself in contention for the postseason. Geez, who could have guessed that?
Well, it doesn't always play out like that. There have been big strikeout teams recently that have had some success, but this year especially.
Yeah, not that many. You better hit a lot of balls out of the park if you're going to strike out most of the time, or a great deal of the time.
Well, your pitching's really good, but quite a bit of baseball strikes out. I mean, 20% of the time would have been unheard of years ago for a first-place team in any league in terms of a strikeout rate.
Yeah.
So less is more now.
It is?
Yeah, because more strikeouts is still fewer compared to everybody else.
Maybe we ought to revisit this sometime in November or December.
No, I'm saying that nowadays,
Yeah.
20% as a strikeout rate being best in the American League, you couldn't have gotten that years ago. The best strikeout rate in the league would have been well below 20% as a team.
Yes.
That's all I was saying. You seem
incredulous
to dispute it.
No, never. Are you kidding?
Absolutely not. Garcia throws it in. Fletcher takes third base. All I was presenting was the truth. It was as though I put a book on the security conveyor belt and they flagged it. It's a soft cover book. Just let it go through. And look, an intentional walk of Mike Trout, which makes the locals very pleasant and silent.
Last time in this scenario, however, Upton came up with a base hit, only this time it's not going to be against Cedeno. Ricky Renteria has decided that Juan Minaya would be better served to come in the ball game at this point, and come in he will. So, as he comes in, we'll step out, and we'll be back. It is Juan Minaya. He's got runners at the corners. There are 2 outs. He's on for the 25th time. 0-2, his ERA of 3.32. That's pretty good. Opponent's batting average very good at 2.13. He's got to cool down a guy who's had a perfect afternoon. Justin Upton.
3 for 3 for Upton. Single to right in the first. RBI single to left in the third. Single to right, run scored in the fifth. You know, he's the only left fielder in Major League Baseball with at least 20 home runs every year since 2013.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You want a power bat, he's your guy. Out in left. at least consistently. Well, there goes Mike Trout for that stolen base that puts him in the same category as Darryl Strawberry. Only players with 5 seasons of 25 homers and 20 stolen bases by age 26 or younger.
He steals this one pretty easily. He just gets not only a good jump, but he gets instant acceleration.
It all just seems so easy and fluid for him. Three and 0 on Upton. Who's the guy that you've seen that you say it was all just so easy for him? Anybody flash into your mind?
When I came up,
You?
Willie Mays. It seemed to me like the game was invented for him. Every one of his abilities fit so perfectly into the game of baseball, very similar to Mike Trout, in that he had such great anticipation on the bases. If the ball got out of the dirt cutout around home plate, you couldn't get him at the next base. He seemingly glided from first to third, getting in many times just ahead of the throw without sliding. I mean, his instincts for the game were outstanding.
Yeah, I want to be careful saying it looks so easy for Trout and he does these things so effortlessly, because as you're describing for Willie Mays, these are all athletic skills and talents and understanding of nuance of the game, so he forces it to look easy.
It's just his skills are well above everybody else.
That's coming right back to us.
John Q. Reynolds did not pick it up right away, but that could have dehorned him. Got the reflexes of a sea bass.
That, wow.
That fellow right there.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been a tragic nick.
When hit off the screen. If it's going to end up in this booth, it's going to have been hit pretty good and on a low line for the most part. Not that low because the screen's fairly tall, but if it's going to get in here, it's going to surge in here as we saw yesterday.
It's true, but I'll protect you.
No, you won't.
Come out from under the counter.
We have visual evidence of you not protecting anyone yesterday. Strike 3. Steve will do his Costanza helping the kids out of the fiery birthday party routine when we come back.
On savory rotisserie style chicken Caesar signature wrap. By saying that fast 3 times, enjoy tender rotisserie style chicken with Savory Caesar sauce. Try one today at Subway. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
Evidently, there is a B issue on
Yes.
the field.
And I told you that occasionally this happened during the day games.
Yep. Well, here it is. Too many Bs. Did you bring your insect repellent?
I didn't for this trip. I should have, however, having been through this a time or two.
You would think that there would be a way to figure out how to eliminate this as an issue. What with all of the engineering marvels in the United States of America. However, nature shows up. You know a good exterminator?
Not here, though.
You know a bad one?
I think we do have time for one of the items.
I think it's Sticks
woven
and Stone
into our
time.
broadcast.
Yes, let's weave. Sticks and Stone brought to you by your local Volkswagen dealer or VWdealer.com. In 1979 on this date, you threw a complete game 12-1 against the Mariners. You walked 5, struck out 2. Oh, who was the home plate umpire? Who squeezed you?
I walked 5, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Complete game, threw very well, but whoever this was had a shrinking plate evidently that day.
Well, let's see. I'll say it was Evans.
You will?
Yeah.
Sure it's not Ken Kaiser?
No, it could very well have been Ken Kaiser. Could have been Luciano also, but
Yeah.
I'll go with Evans.
All right, we'll see if that's the correct answer. Don't know if we'll have enough time to sneak that in.
Do you think the Bees
Oh wait, we
called
do.
ahead,
I'm
by the
told
way?
we do.
Did the
We
Bees
do have
call
enough
ahead
time.
before they
Yep.
came into the flight space?
Party of 2000. We need a table at Angel Stadium. Is it Jim Evans? Nope, it's Ken Kaiser. I
Ken
tried to guide
Kaiser.
you there.
Yeah, you did. Former college wrestler, Ken Kaiser was.
Huh. Do you ask all the plate umpires what their old vocations were? Or avocations?
Yeah, if he called 5 walks on me, certainly. Usually when I've seen the Bees here before, they make a habit of getting around that camera right in back of home plate, the one that's on the screen. And we've seen that a few different times.
Yeah, this is definitely a B-
Ooh.
here in the 7th inning. Well, now 2 umpires are on the field. We're being told that in addition there are reports of Jerry Davis, one of the umpires, having an issue. So we'll see when we get further word. We were told initially that it was a B issue, and now reports of Jerry Davis.
What happens a lot of times if one umpire is experiencing something or under the weather, what they will do is another umpire will come in, put on the gear, and then they'll work with 3. But so far, there are 2 out on the field.
Yeah, Jeff Fletcher of the Orange County Register tweeted that it seems like there may be an issue with plate umpire Jerry Davis, but we have not gotten official word on that. But that has been reported from here in the press box. So 6-2 your score. We're going to play into the 7th inning. Certainly hope Jerry's all right. Again, that's the report from Jeff Fletcher of the Orange County Register. Now Doug Padilla is reporting that Jerry Davis looks to be done for the day. So we await official word, as the Sox are trailing 6-2. Jose Abreu a home run in the first. Daniel Palka a home run in the second inning. And those are the runs for the Sox. Let's take you back after the half inning came to an end. There's a conversation around Jerry Davis, who's standing behind the plate. And can't really see a whole lot.
Well, Jerry Davis is not going to be behind the plate.
Looks like they are going to go with 3 for the time being. And it's not unheard of in pro baseball when you see minor league games, especially at the lower levels. Sometimes these guys are doing it with 2 umpires.
No, this is not. It's not a problem for them. 3 umps is not a problem.
So I think that's Pat Hoberg going to go behind the plate.
It is. So Pat Hoberg takes over behind the plate. That'll leave Ryan Additon still at first base, and Brian Knight still at third base.
Certainly hope Jerry Davis is all right. So some warm-up tosses in order. For the Angels, Tropiano, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 69 pitches, 44 for strikes.
Yeah, this has been one of his better efforts. He got off to a rocky start. He gave up solo home runs in the first and second, and that has been it.
Last start, he was quite good. Just 1 earned run allowed in 5 innings. But his 2 starts before that, he'd given up 10 earned runs in 9 innings. So the word we're just getting is that Jerry Davis is being evaluated, and he is unlikely to return to this game. Avi stands in, and ball 1 from Tropiano. And Avi took the brunt of that foul ball.
Avi fouled this one off his foot, and he'll bounce around for a bit.
Avi working out the kinks.
The game of adjustment, remember that.
Uh-huh. One ball, 1 strike. Just misses. So Tropiano, we'll see how he reacts to the delay. He's in quite the groove and has not allowed a hit since the 2nd inning. Foul ball off the facade of the 3rd deck.
Some young fans able to secure that in the 2nd deck.
Two and two. In the air, left center field. Well hit by Avi, and this ball is an absolute no-doubter. third solo shot for the Sox this afternoon.
"11 homers, 23 driven in for Avi, who continues to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And this is what you're looking for when a pitcher has taken an inordinate amount of time. In this case, it wasn't his fault. It was Jerry Davis not feeling particularly well. It created a lot of time, an unusual amount of time for Tropiano, and he has some problems early in this 7th inning. So a towering home run. 3 solo shots, and that's been the sum total of the offense. Down 3 runs.
Daniel Palka crushes this ball. Right field, another. One more multi-home run game for Palka. Suddenly, the great shrinking lead is down to 2.
Justin Anderson getting loosened up in a hurry as Tropiano has given up back-to-back bombs here in the 7th. That's going to bring Charles Nagy out. He's out there for Anderson to have about 10 more pitches to get loose after 2 bombs. This one absolutely a rocket, and a no-doubter off the bat of Daniel Palka. There is Anderson getting loosened up in a hurry. And Charles Nagy went out there to kill as much time as possible, but Anderson not quite loose yet.
Ball number 1 on Garcia. First multi-homer game was July the 3rd at Cincinnati for Palka, the first of his career.
It's 13 home runs given up by Tropiano in 56 innings of work. That is a whopping total of home runs.
Good foul by Garcia, 1-2. Well, we knew pretty quickly that Daniel Palka's bat was going to play.
It does that.
One and 2 to Garcia. Way up and out. That's strike 3. First out of the 7th inning. Sox fans, join us Thursday, August 2nd. Sox take on the Royals, 1:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans get a free Hawk Harrelson themed t-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Get your tickets right now by visiting whitesox.com, or you can call 866-SOX-GAME. Well, Tropiano has not really had many taxing innings today.
No, and he hasn't given up any singles or doubles or triples.
Just homers.
4 of them.
If he opened a restaurant, it would only serve taters.
Yikes.
High praise from you.
Get us back off this road trip.
1-1. Fouled away left side. Ball and 2 strikes on Delmonico, who started at first base, putting Abreu at the DH spot today. Nicky to right field, toward the pole, down the line it goes. Gone! It's a 1-run game. A boundary tester from Delmonico.
That one was a bomb. That hit way up on the screen. And that is going to be it. Tropiano's going to go 6 1/3 innings. He's going to have given up 5 hits, all of them solo home runs. This is pretty amazing. 5 hits total, all home runs, and he leaves with a 1-run lead. The only thing Nicky doesn't know is, would it stay fair long enough? And the answer was yes, it would.
Man, what a wild day for Tropiano.
He was in command of this one, and then all of that time between innings, he could not get it back again. Whatever he had for the first 6, he did not bring out here in the 7th. And the day is done. Nick Tropiano threw it real well coming into this inning and gave up 3 blasts here.
Run for Mickey Mantle. Floyd Robinson, 6 hits at Fenway Park in 1962, and then Carlton Fisk, Pudge, with home run number 200 in his career back in 1983. A couple of 200th home runs on this day in Major League Baseball history. And Nicky Delmonico sends Tropiano up the river.
And we got a new pitcher who comes in the ball game. It is Justin Anderson, on for the 37th time. Record 2-2, the ERA of 3.19. He has been called on to save 5 games, been successful 4 times with an opponent's batting average of 226. That's very good. Control has not been great, so if you're patient with him, he will walk you. Tim Anderson to lead it off, and now it's a 1-run game.
We saw Anderson in the opener. Came in to get 5 outs. He walked Matt Davidson, and nobody else reached. He got Tim to ground a ball to third base in the 8th inning of that Sox win, 5-3. Again, the Sox are down a man in the bullpen, but Jose's got the spray bottle, so everything's okay. Future job for Abreu, maybe.
Never know when it comes in handy.
He's quite good at it. Top 5% in the country. Spray bottle in the dugout. Yeah, he can't DH anymore. He gets restless. Inside to Anderson. 5 hits, all home runs.
We can go back in the annals and take a look at that. I don't think you're going to see that. For 5 hits given up, all of them solo home runs.
Maybe ever.
Well, I gave up 5 home runs, all solo home runs, but I'm sure I gave him a couple of other hits.
Yeah, that's the hard part to do here, is that if your stuff is enough that you're giving up 5 homers, you've got to give up some other hit.
You would think so, but not the case. Not today, anyway.
2-0 on Anderson. From Anderson to first. Albert takes it himself. Kevin Smith 0 for 2. Ground ball to shortstop and a strikeout to his name so far. Palka 2 homers. Abreu, Garcia, Delmonico all with 1. Up the middle, base hit. Boy, Kevin Smith just wears out the middle of the field.
Going to keep that batting average above 300. His first hit of the day, and it keeps the inning alive.
Entering this series, 46% of the balls he put in play had gone up the middle. It's a good sign.
It's usually the biggest hole on the infield, so it's a very good sign.
That one gets away. Kevin up to second base.
Garcia's catching a lot of these guys for the first time. This is his major league debut and had that one trickle away. This will probably go as a wild pitch, but it's one of those that could have been, probably should have been stopped. It is ruled a wild pitch.
I think that hit glove first.
Yeah, but then again, we've seen a ball ruled a triple in center field also, so you never can tell.
But who's counting?
That's it.
Moncada checks his swing. And now with the three-man umpiring crew, that's the type of play that shows up as one that doesn't have your typical look off that check swing, because the third base umpire is playing, as you can see, just in front of shortstop. Stabbed by Arcia, 2-1. Tying run at second base. Outside, 3-1. Moncada awaits 3-1. Downstairs, ball 4. The inning continues to batter number 8 here in the 7th. This inning started with the Sox trailing 6-2. Plate umpire Jerry Davis came out of the game to be evaluated. There are 3 umpires on the field currently. Pat Hoberg is taken over behind the plate, and now Sanchez clips one off his foot. Different strike zone now for the pitchers. Obviously Anderson just into the game, didn't know the other one, but Pat Hoberg's got to acclimate himself midstream here in the 7th inning.
Both starters out of this game, however, so it's up to the pensmen, who have to adjust to a new umpire anyway, to make the adjustment.
Hitters as well.
Yep.
0-1 to Sanchez. In the dirt. Boy, Arcia is getting his money's worth right now.
Anderson is burying that slider a lot, and he's had to handle all of them.
Ball and a strike. Fouled away left-hand side, 1-2.
That fan made a very good catch on the fly.
The shade is well populated this
It is that.
afternoon. Anderson taking his time to hook up with Arcia. Smith at second, Moncada at first. Yolmer strikes out, and the inning's over. However, a 6-2 game in a heartbeat changed. Avi McDaniel. Nicky down the line, 6-5 at stretch time.
Official White Sox debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Suddenly, it's a nail biter. 6-5, seventh inning. The Sox have stormed back with 3 home runs in the top of this inning. And it's up to Juan Minaya to freeze it right here. Sox are down a man in the bullpen. Joakim Soria on his way to the Brewers organization by virtue of a trade a couple of hours before game time. Cody Medeiros, the left-hander, and right-handed pitcher Wilber Perez coming over to the Sox, both minor leaguers. Medeiros in Double-A with Biloxi when he was traded. Had his first career hit earlier this year. It was a grand slam.
That's kind of nice.
Yolmer. I think he's going to get Albert here.
I would think so.
1 down. Sox and Angels. Here are some of the guys who have played for both teams. Bo Jackson, Bill Melton, the one season back in '76 for the California Angels. Brian Downing. And the O-Dog.
I was teammates with 4 of those guys.
You were?
Uh-huh.
Which one do you like the most?
Oh, I loved them all. Funniest was Carlos May. He was a very funny man.
Was he?
Oh, yes. That one sailed up and in, chasing Simmons out of there.
Four hits in the series for Andrelton Simmons. And another down the line, left field. Second extra base hit for Simmons in the game.
Yolmer was off the line and no chance to get this one. That went right down the line. So the call by Brian Knight. That one was fair by a pretty good margin.
You know what this series has been short on?
Let's see. Short on rain.
Replay reviews.
Been a couple.
Yeah, not many and not for long, though.
No.
I know you turn on baseball games and you say, I want to see my
more,
replay
more
reviews.
replays.
Yeah. One strike to Kinsler. Ian Kinsler, this decade, the third best wins above replacement of any second baseman. It's according to Fangraphs. Number 1, Robinson Cano. Number 2, Ben Zobrist.
Been a pretty good player, Ben Zobrist.
He's classified as a second baseman, but he's been all over the diamond. That bounces away. Simmons got quickly to third with a notion to come home, but then Kevin got there quickly enough.
This appeared to be a splitter in the dirt, and no chance at all for Kevin Smith. This one bounces up, gets him off the mask, and then goes bounding away. So he did a lot of things right here, but had the ball hit off the mask and no chance to stop the advancement. That brings the infield in at all 4 positions.
Three and 1. That's ball 4. Arcia, the batter. Question is, will he hit? Looks as though it's going to be yes. Jace Fry in the Sox bullpen. Left-hander Arcia coming up. They do have the reserve catcher Briseño on the bench. Arcia will hit. Runners at the corners, 1 out. And after 1,787 minor league at-bats, Arcia in search of that first major league hit. Or his first major league double play.
That'd be a good alternative. Kinsler has a stolen base in this series.
Minaya to Arcia. Off the plate outside, ball 1. One-0. Hit well right field. Avi back at the wall. It's gone. His first hit is his first home run. His first firework display. And a huge clout for the Angels.
First runs driven in. And some needed insurance runs for this Angel team. No cold shoulder, just applause and greetings as he get a low fastball and took it out of the park. High leg kick and gone.
This is a guy in nearly 1,800 minor league at-bats who had 22 career home runs in the minors.
Lively ballpark today.
Lively bat.
That's 10 guys the Angels have that made their major league debuts this year. 29 pitchers they've used. 29 different pitchers they've used. 10 major league debuts.
Their average DL stint this year for this Angels team is 33 days. So there have been 8 Angels all time to homer in their debut, and it just so happens that both catchers on the roster have done it, Arcia and Briseño.
And Ricky Renteria is going to go to the bullpen. So he pointed to the pen, which means the pen will come into this. Manaea will be escorted from the mound, and we will be back.
Lower price for $82.99. Watch every auto market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer.
So Jace Fry comes into the ball game, and Fry is on for the 33rd time. His ERA at 3.86, record 0-1. Opponent's batting average at 173.
Want the good news or the bad news?
I'll take the good news first.
The good news is that you're involved in a trivia question.
And the bad news is Cincinnati?
You're involved in a trivia question. Before today,
yes,
3 players had given up 5 hits, all solo home runs in Major League history. Tropiano being the 4th as of today. You're in great company.
Okay.
Great company, but you are one of them.
I knew I had given up 5 home runs.
Yeah,
Didn't
no
know if
other
that
hits.
I didn't know if that was the only hits, but
Select company.
Yeah.
You ready for the other 2?
Sure.
Matt Latos.
Yes.
And Denny McClain.
Ooh, how about that? 5 hits, all home runs.
Moncada to second, and that's all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can remember when Jim Marshall came to take me out. It was just the 3rd inning, by the way. At least Tropiano made it to the 7th.
Yeah.
I got pulled out in the 3rd. Time I told him the record was 6. I was only in the 3rd inning. I had plenty of time. That's enough time. That was it. out
You
of the
lobbied?
game.
You lobbied to stay in after giving up 5 dingers? Now, Calhoun thought about third. You wanted the record?
Well, I knew that I could tie the record, certainly. It was only the 3rd inning, and they were the big red machine, by the way. And this one gets away. So we're waiting on the ruling. It is a stolen base.
Strike on Ohtani. He was 0 for 4 in the game. He's got 2 hits in the series, both home runs. Chop to first, Nicky Delmonico for round number 3, but the big hit was Arcia's Thunder, and the Angels reclaim that 4-run lead.
The one man that is going some places, and that is to a lot of victories, is Zach Greinke. Last 7 starts, 6-0 with an ERA of 1.57 for those Diamondbacks. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, that is a race that will be quite fun going down the stretch. The Dodgers a half game up entering play today. The Diamondbacks have lost, so it's now 1 full game for LA. Two 2-0 on Abreu. When's the last time you were at a pop-up store?
Never have been one.
Ever?
Don't think so.
What about a pop-over store?
I've eaten popovers, just never been to the store for it.
Well, there's going to be a pop-up store at the ballpark during this next homestand. Cafe Spiaggia. Joe Flam, the Top Chef winner season 15, is going to have a pop-up store at Guaranteed Rate Field near section 157. New food at the ballpark.
What are they going to have?
They're going to have roasted pork.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have sausage and peppers. As there's ball 4. 4-pitch walk is not ideal after you took a 4-run lead, but you can't always get what you want, right?
No, but we won't.
And they're also going to have fried donuts tossed in powdered sugar.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Right, anything pretty much you can't beat.
Like Italian beignets.
Kind of.
So that'll be fun. July 27th through the 29th. New food at the ballpark. There you go.
Pretty good.
Get it on your MLB ballpark app, which I know you use all the time.
I do.
As you wander the concourse aimlessly.
That's how I get my inside the pork home runs.
Oof. I'm sure you've never used that one before.
No.
Uh-huh. That's ball one inside to Avi.
Angels pen going. Sox pen going. Been that kind of a day.
Ball and no strikes. That's in there, a fastball, 1-1. Sox trying to take the first steps on the comeback trail again after a 3-run inning in the 7th on 3 solo home runs. We've really seen the core of how you get to right around 500 for most of the season for the Angels. Great moments, moments where the bullpen can't find the strike zone, leads unprotected, and then yesterday's outburst of 11 runs when they looked like nobody could beat them.
They get enough thunder in this lineup, they just don't get it consistently.
2-1 to Avisail Garcia. That almost hit him. Don't think this hook's going to be very long for Anderson.
I would think he is not long for this game if he doesn't get the ball over to Avi. Get Jose Alvarez, the left-hander, in their pen.
Palka's next.
He's certainly not going to face Anderson. Unless perhaps a double play ground ball is forthcoming.
3-1. Called a strike. Right on the edge. It's close. Right on the fringe. Three balls, 2 strikes. Jose at first after a walk. That's through, base hit. 2 for 4 for Avi. 2 on, nobody out as the rally bubbles up here in the 8th. And we'll see if that forces Mike Scioscia into the bullpen. Here he comes. And there goes Anderson. So Alvarez will come in to go lefty-lefty with Palka. We'll see if Daniel remains. As we step aside, Alvarez trots out to the mound once the door comes open. He'll get there, we promise, and we'll see it after this. From all levels of guaranteed rate field. The space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and skill instruction from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. Check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform, X1 by Xfinity. It'll change the way you experience TV.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Jose Alvarez, on for the 52nd time. He's been the busiest man around. 3.24 ERA, a 4-3 record. He inherits a couple of base runners, Abreu and Garcia at first and second base, and nobody out here in the 8th.
Lefties are actually slugging a higher percentage against him than righties this year. 413 to 324. Can Daniel square up home run number 3? In the air, right side. Pujols, foul territory, and no play. Palka, a home run in the 2nd and a home run in the 7th. Oh, 1. Hit hard right at first base.
Some heads up base running, because normally that's pretty easy to get doubled off, but not this time. Abreu at second, Avi at first, and nobody doubled off.
One down for Garcia, who's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. First time he bats from the right-hand side. On the ground, off the pitcher into left field. That'll get a run home. Abreu scores. If that goes up the middle, it's likely a double play. Instead, on the ricochet, it scores a run, and it's 9-6.
That to the glove side, you should be able to make these plays, and a lot of pitchers can't. When they can't, things like this happen. They carry him off the glove, away from Simmons. So what could have been 2 and out of the inning instead is none, and a run scored. So now it's a 3-run game. And Matt Davidson is going to come out to pinch hit for Nicky Delmonico.
Matt had a home run in his last at bat. That was in the 9th inning on 2 strikes last night. So Davidson for Delmonico in a major spot in this game.
And Mike Scioscia is going to come out. That's going to be it for Alvarez. That's why Arcia went out there to kill some time to allow that pen to get loosened up. They have. And we'll wait for Mike to make that call.
There it is.
So that's going to be it for Alvarez. And as he walks out, we'll step out. We'll be back. Sox have been out hit 12-8, and Cam Bedrosian comes into this one on for the 50th time. He's been allowed 6 save opportunities, been successful just one time. The ERA at 3.63. The rest of the number is pretty decent, but a high whip for a guy who's used as a setup man, and this is a setup situation.
Well, this year he's allowed 5 home runs, and all of them have come against right-handed bats. And it's not for lack of at-bats for left-handed hitters. He's faced 76 lefties, 116 righties. Matt Davidson, 15 home runs. He is the tying run at the plate here in the 8th.
Hit his 15th last night in the 9th inning, tying him for the team lead at this point with Jose Abreu.
First one just off the plate, ball 1. Matt trying to put one in the crosshairs and tie this game. 1-1. Breaking ball away, 1-2. Avi at second. Leori at first. One and two. And the dirt blocked by the catcher Arcia. He's the reason that this leads on the board for the Angels with his first major league hit, a 3-run home run. Angels have scored in every inning but the 2nd and the 6th so far. Two balls, 2 strikes. Off the plate. It was a good take.
That ball was a good 3-4 inches off the outside corner.
Full count. 2 on, 1 out. He struck him out. 94 miles an hour to out number 2.
Couldn't get that last breaking ball over, so he went to the fastball and he threw it by him.
"14 home runs, and Tim Anderson facing Cam Bedrosian. There's the breaking ball for strike 1.
It was a good one. He threw a very good one to Davidson and then couldn't get the other one over the plate.
Oh, 0-1 to Tim. Tying run at the plate. Fastball upstairs. Can the Sox cash in after a run already in the inning? Called strike 3. Right on the edge. 2 left on. Will go bottom 8. Nine-6 score. Chris Volstad for the second straight day throws for the Sox. Yesterday, 2 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Volstad threw 41 pitches yesterday night. So he's in charge of this 8th inning with Trout, Upton, and Pujols coming up as the Sox try to maintain this 9-6 score in the series finale. Davidson, who pinch hit for Nicky Delmonico, remains over at first. Nicky out of the game. And the Sox and Angels say farewell to one another until September with this game. Game 1 of the homestand is tomorrow. That's a 7:10 start time. Marcus Stroman against Reynaldo Lopez. And Saturday, Lucas Giolito was supposed to face Jay Happ, but unless the Yankees fly into town to interlope in that series, it's not going to happen anymore.
Nope, he is a Yankee.
Mike Trout, who's walked 8 times in the series, stands in. 3 for 8, a double, 2 homers, and 8 walks.
When he wasn't walking, he was swinging it pretty well, so you can understand why Sox have not gone after him more times than they have.
You know the old saying, let sleeping Trout lie. Right center field into the alleyway and ringing off the wall. Off the sign there, it's evidently Trout Thermidor.
It was a blast, but it stayed in the park just barely. He just reaches down to get anything low, he's going to tattoo. He just is a terrific low ball hitter. Doesn't matter if it's low and in, low and away. He hits it both very hard, and this one, fortunately, does stay in the park.
How is Trout Thermidor compared to Lobster Thermidor?
Not good.
No?
No.
Saying it wouldn't be chef's choice?
Probably not. There it is.
Yeah.
Trout Thermidor would be a little less expensive than Lobster Thermidor, however.
$4.92. A la carte. Swing and a miss for Upton. 3 for 4 for Justin Upton this lovely California afternoon. They have all kinds of fish hats here.
Can understand why they would.
dawning of the age of aquariums.
Could be that also.
Drilled to left field, on a line and off the wall. Trout scores. Upton's 4th hit puts the Angels in double figures.
Time now for the IDOT Safe Play. IDOT reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life and death. Visit lifeordeathillinois.com. And this baseball, although it was not death for the baseball, was pulverized. Upton continues to hit the daylights out of it. And Chris Volstead continues to have a very difficult series.
Albert Pujols, the batter. So the Angels have had Mike Trout and Tim Salmon, and our director Todd Benjaminson in between cutting cameras so you see things around the ballpark has evidently made a list of possible Angels seafood puns from history that aren't exactly the names but close enough. Things like Walleye Joyner and Troy Percival.
Who was responsible for those?
It's Benji.
Phew.
Truck.
Boy, it has been a long trip, hasn't it? Yikes.
So if you have any that you'd like to tweet in, you're welcome to. We will laugh at them. Ball and 2 strikes on Pujols. Now the truck is a buzz with possible fish names. No Catfish Hunter never pitched for the Angels.
No, he did not.
Steve Stonecrab.
Nope, didn't play here. Came close. Didn't get here.
We welcome your submissions at Jason Benetti, especially at Steve Stone. Tag to left center field. And caught. Nicely done by Garcia to reel in out number 1.
Our Danley's defensive play is the last play. Albert hits it awfully hard, but Liuri right there to make the play. And of course, when you think of garages, think Danley's. Why would you think of anything else?
One entry is Gary DiSardinia.
That's not bad. Not good, but not bad.
Here's a strike from Volstad to Andrelton Simmons. Sox are down a man in the bullpen with Joakim Soria traded to Milwaukee. I was reminded earlier that Boone Logan's been in that Milwaukee bullpen. It's a former Sox on parade for the Brewers.
They've had a lot of White Sox pitchers roaming through that pen, if not making a home there.
Foul third base side, 2-2. Sox in the ninth will have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. Smith, Moncada, and Sanchez scheduled. On the infield, Tim for out number 2. We told you about all the walks Mike Trout has in this series. He had a 4-walk game. So our random White Sox leaderboard today is most career 4-walk games. And 7 for Frank Thomas is your winner. Eddie Collins with 5. We have one more, I think, worthy entrant in the fish puns.
Oh, I hope so.
Let's see, who was it that had this one? It's a non-generic puck, says Shohei Ohtani. What about at DKMF75 says Jim Hal Abbott. Jim Abbott.
No, not good.
You're saying we went off the deep end?
You did. You jumped the shark.
Wow. Ian Kinsler takes ball number 2. Angels with a couple of 3-run innings in this game, in the 5th and the 7th. Two and 1. It may have been a bad fish pun, but Jim Abbott did play for both the Sox and the Angels. And if you don't know his story, if you've never seen him pitch, if you're a young baseball fan watching, look him up and watch on YouTube. Jim Abbott, that ball is hit well to left field and down. Off the wall again, just about the same spot. Kinsler drives in Upton.
Another hard hit ball to left field, and this one finds a place to land safely. 3 hits for Kinsler, a triple shy of the cycle.
Arcia will bat. But Jim Abbott pitched with one hand and would essentially use his other arm to rest the glove on, and he would switch it over after he threw to be in the ready position to field the ball. Truly one of the remarkable players in the game of baseball of all time.
And he was a good pitcher on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some very fine years.
(1993) had a no-hitter for the Yankees against Cleveland. Upstairs, there's a strike. 3-1 on Arcia, who had his first major league hit last time up. A 3-run home run against Juan Minaya. toss to diving Sanchez. The Angels will take the run. Kinsler scores. And the Angels continue to pour it on here in the 8th. Fletcher will bat with 2 out in this 8th inning.
A couple of very tough days, less than 24 hours for Chris Volstead. Gave up 5 runs on 7 hits in the ball game last night. Comes back out here today and has a rough 8th inning.
His job is fairly clearly to keep everyone else from this game. Garcia over at first, and that grounded foul.
First Angel in history to have 4 runs batted in his first game. Major League debut, 4-spot driven in. Quite an afternoon.
He's on pace for a big season.
Yeah.
Two strikes. Sox and Blue Jays tomorrow, 7:10 start time. You can see that game on NBC Sports Chicago Plus. First base side, Davidson with the call and the ball, and the inning comes to an end, but the Angels continue to rally. Sox have 3 outs to play with.
Replay powered by Xfinity, and it's a 5 home runs hit by the Sox today. Jose Abreu with 1, Daniel Palka with another, Avi with a 3rd, Daniel Palka once again, and Nicky Delmonico with a towering blast that hit the screen in right field. A 5-bagger, it has not been enough as the Sox trail 12-6. And we've got a brand new pitcher. We've seen him for the 3rd time, he of the most unusual motion, Blake Parker, who does not rush into anything.
Well, wise men say only fools would do that. Kevin Smith first. Looks like it's going to be a split, although the Sox have 3 outs to go. Angels have a substantially different defense now with Jeffrey Marte coming into the game. Jabari Blash as well. Marte over at first. Pujols gets the 9th inning off. Jabari Blash in for Upton, who had 4 hits. Simmons collects out number 1. Sox are 22 under in day games this year, 13 and 35.
Very much nocturnal creatures.
Night Sox.
Not bad at night. Not good in the daytime.
23 and 30 at night. 7 under.
Yeah, not bad.
No. It's a hot one here in Anaheim. Two strikes on Moncada. Angels with 16 total hits in the game. 9 have gone for extra bases. Blake Parker out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, former Razorback, former position player turned pitcher. You been to Fayetteville?
I have not.
It's a nice little college hamlet.
Been to Little Rock.
You have?
Not Fayetteville.
Texas League at the time?
Mm-hmm. They were the Cardinal AA team.
Ball 4. The worst minor league city you ever visited that you care to share?
They were all a whole lot of fun because I wasn't in the minor leagues too long. I was only in there a couple of years. And so when you're just getting there in A-ball, I went to the Cal League first. Everything was really exciting. And so all those cities that if you'd been there 2 or 3 times you wouldn't like so much, you didn't mind them the first go around. Things like Lodi and Stockton. Visalia. Played in Fresno, which I really liked.
Good climate there.
And then AA. Shreveport was a bit humid. Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
That was in AA.
That's right. They were in the Texas League for a time. One ball to Sanchez. You'd be amazed at the minor league ballparks nowadays compared to when you played.
Well, a lot of them look absolutely like major league ballparks.
Yeah.
No, they're beautiful. The owners of minor league franchises over the last 15 years or so have made a lot of money. It's become a very successful business.
Sox have one of the best ballparks in the country in the minors. That BB&T in Charlotte in AAA is just a pristine downtown ballpark. Great view. Two-one. That's off the plate. 3 balls and a strike. So Parker not endearing himself to anybody who wants out number 27 in this building, whether in uniform or not. Getaway day in California hasn't exactly been lickety-split this year. Back on April the 18th, the Sox played 5 hours, 48 minutes in Oakland. Sanchez called back 3-2. But that was a 14-inning affair. It was 5:48, but it felt like 5:32, really.
Felt about like 7:48.
Oh, I don't agree. I thought that coasted along. Moncada, a grand slam in the second inning of that game. It was 6-4 after 2. It was 9-8 after 4.
To give you the idea, it was going to be a long affair.
Ran out of spots for relief pitchers in the scorebook early. Three and two on Sanchez. Back-to-back full counts from Parker. Strike three. He went away from the fastball and got out number 2. Back-to-back games with 11 strikeouts now for Sox hitters. A 5-home-run game for the Sox, all solo shots. Palka with 2, Abreu with 1, Garcia with 1, Delmonico with 1. Strike 1. That ball's hit well to left field. Blash is back at the wall. It is out of here. Second home run for Jose in the game, and the Sox aren't done.
Jose has 16 of them. 3 driven in today on his 2 home runs. First and last at bat. So for the second time in as many days, Parker has come in to give up a late home run, and this was a blast. Jose got every stitch of this one.
Two multi-homer games for the Sox. Now here's Avi, who's 2 for 4. Well, Parker's given up a home run each of the last 2 days.
Yep, less than 24 hours.
It's 12-8 the Angels. And Jose Abreu with 3 of those runs driven in. He scored 3 times. That's ball 2. A slippery final out for the Angels. Two and 1. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. After a long day in the sun, the fans with energy remaining to stand do so. Two. Check swing. Strike 3. Angels split the series with this victory. The Sox will go home with 3 wins on a 7-game road trip.
Well, unfortunately today, the offense kept trying to fight their way back into it, and the bullpen just did not have it. So the Angels, winning the last 2 in the series, split the series. Sox will go home 1 under 500 for the series. So stay with us. We'll be back with more after these messages.